Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I got a really something new that a lot of people have been waiting for. A lot of people have been itching to see. It's been in work for a while now. And today, on the official World of Warships channel, Sub-Octavian and Mr. Conway have finally showed us a video preview of the new carrier gameplay. After the stream was over, they were kind enough to provide us with the video so we can show it and make a video about it for the rest of you guys who weren't there. It's 8.5 minutes long. It's purely CV gameplay with different types of planes. Now, before I show you the video, I just want to take a few seconds, very short, to tell you a couple of things. There's going to be dive bombers, torpedo bombers, and new sort of attack aircraft that involve rockets. There will be no fighters because apparently fighters are no longer a thing. Bear in mind that everything you see and hear is still a heavy work in progress, of course. Fighters are apparently going to be just a skill, like a consumable that you can activate, like you can summon them, and they will be there to assist you. Apparently it's going to be purely RNG, from what I've heard. And everything else is going to be you doing the piloting of planes. However, you won't be piloting them within the cockpit. It will be a third-person view of the entire squadron, and you will be flying, maneuvering, whatever you want to call it, the planes using W, A, S, and D keys. The person who is playing this is unknown, but they have stated that he wasn't performing the best, so you're gonna see some bad drops and stuff like that. We will be discussing the whole thing throughout the video. I will be showing you bit by bit, and then telling you my process behind it. Yeah. Let's just jump right into it, and then we will discuss further as we go. This is the very first, basically very first part of development that they showed us. So everything is subject to change. It's a heavy work in progress. Here we go. Let's remove this. Let's show you the video. So here we can see how you will actually be flying the planes. Bear in mind that consumables that are shown are going to be probably different. Here they seem to be activating the attack run, and then you're flying left and right. And then I guess then you just click, and the torpedoes are away. And then you just fly them away again. Here you can see the speed. Here you can see how many planes are available. Now let's just pause it real quick here. Squadrons are going to be a lot bigger. Here you can see that these torpedo planes have 12, and they're going to be attacking in groups of 3 by 3. So for some reason, Wargaming thought it's a good idea to show a full squadron of 12 planes and make all 12 planes do the attack run. And then 9 of the planes are still, I guess, taking fire just like everybody else does, like the first 3, but only the first 3 will actually drop anything. And then when the first 3 drop anything, they are immediately returning to the carrier, I presume, and you continue operating the other 9. That's, of course, if the other 9 are still alive. And then when you do decide to make another attack run, you will, again, only do it with 3 planes, while the 6 are going through the same process with you again as sort of an escort. Now, why would you force planes to go through all this without, them being able to drop? I don't know. That seems just kind of ridiculous. Because the last squadron will have to go through the same process in AA 4 times before you can finally drop something. Of course, this is still work in progress and everything is subject to change. This may very well change. But here, you can basically see now he's turning around And now he's gonna go again for the attack run. Now one thing I'm gonna pause very short here is you can see how wide spread this is, even without any sort of a special defensive AA or anything like that. And how I guess this is working is you have to commence the attack run and then it will be wide like this for a while. And then after a certain period of time that you fly into this sort of a action mode, it will go narrow on its own, as you can see. And boom, now it's narrow. And now you can continue flying and maneuvering and doing anything you want, but this will stay narrow. And now he's taking a better angle. One click and the torpedoes are away. It's a stationary target, so he can hardly miss. You can see there the RNG. You can see the RNG here between the torps. 3 torpedoes. One goes fully right, one goes fully left, and the other one is kind of RNG based. God knows. And then one quick second, you can see here after he dropped, he lost control of another 3 planes, and then he will control the last 6, which will also be divided into groups of 3. Here you can see more torpedo planes. This is a map hotspot. And this time he's approaching and trying to attack a moving target. In the meantime, a certain destroyer has damaged. This is also something that I want to mention before we continue. The planes will all now have HP bars. Here you can see it. Each plane actually has HP. Now, I know that some of you may be, well, Flumbus, you know, the HP bars were always a thing. Well, not the bars, but the planes used to have, or still have, health. Yes and no. They do on paper, but in reality, no. Every time an AA opens fire, RNG rolls a dice, and that plane either lives or dies. He can't take damage. Here, you can take damage. This one is now lightly damaged, I believe. And there's a couple of stages of your plane being damaged before it finally goes down. Alright. Those 3 blue were the 3 that left. See? Red and orange. Now they took heavy fire. And you can see that these 3 are actually on fire. Those are the red ones. I'm guessing that if they take any more damage, they will actually be destroyed.
Надвигается сильный шторм.
I guess it takes about 8 seconds from when you actually start the attack run till it goes to narrow. 3 that just attacked are leaving. You're left with the last 5. That's what it happens. That's how the torpedo planes look in action. Also bear in mind that I will tell you my opinions about the whole thing and everything when we're fully done with the video. Let's just go through this as methodically as we can. Here we have dive bombers. You can see it right here. This consumable and this timer, I really have no idea what it is. But my guess is Wargaming stated that carriers will now have infinite amount of planes. So you can no longer run out of planes. But if you're reckless and you just charge in like a noob and you lose your planes quite fast, that you will have a penalty for when you can use the next ones. Now I'm guessing that this timer right here is actually showing you when will the next squadron be available, in how long. So you have 1 minute and 10, and after that, even if this squadron is lost, you will have the next one ready. If not, you will control the squadron for as long as they're all done. When they're done, you will get a new one if it's ready. If not, I guess you'll just be sitting with your camera on the carrier. I'm not sure. Also, the planes that you use are immediately going back to the carrier. You're stuck with the rest of the group, and as you may have guessed so far, you can only control one squadron at a time. So no more multitasking. You can forget about it. Dive bombers look like they're gonna require a bit more skill, because leading this circle to a target from this point of view might be a bit more challenging. And then they do this funny simulation. And then once again, only 3 planes actually dropped the bombs. Only 1 has hit. And somehow it caused 3 criticals, 2 decaps, and 1 fire. I don't know. You can see these 3 bluish ones are gonna go home. They are the ones that just attacked. These 2 that are smoking, those are the orange ones. They're damaged, but they will stay. Another run. This time 1 fire from 2 bombs and 3 capture resets. Then he can just proceed and attack the next target with the next 3 planes. All 3 bombs have hit, 2 cap resets and 2 fires. And I'm guessing this is the last feature of dive bombers. Now you may have noticed, I'm just gonna rewind it just a bit. You may have noticed that watch this circle where it is before he clicks and after he clicks. It's gonna change. This circle is actually much more ahead of the actual attack. The actual attack will be taking place somewhere here. Just watch. That's something that I don't understand why they did the way they did, but this is still early. See the circle? He's gonna click, boom, it's right here. So it's actually, you know, the attack is gonna be taking place actually a lot further in the back than what you're aiming at. One thing that I noticed, see, the circle is there and then it's actually there. Now, one thing that I've noticed is you can just click once. You have 3 planes. Why not allow players to click maybe 3 times? One of the suggestions. Maybe that's going to be too powerful. I don't know. But you could maybe click 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. No, you actually aim at 1 spot and then all 3 drop at the same place. And then the RNG decides where it's going to go. Not a big fan of it, but okay, balancing wise, it's probably better. We'll see. You can see the speed heavily dropping here, even though they're dive bombing, doing a dive run. And I think that's it for dive bombers. Now he's gonna go for another one. All right. Okay, we're done with the dive bombers. Now we're gonna move to these so-called attack planes, which some of you who played World of Warplanes maybe know. There's a lot of planes that are called attack planes, which actually have rockets. This is how they look like, and you can see here that they carry rocket launcher pads, rocket pads. They have a different icon, and right now they look extremely overpowered. You will just see the hellfire that they will impose on the target. And they look extremely easy to use. See the rocket pads beneath their wings. Now watch. How do you even miss the target? 7 hits! And the aim was actually pretty bad. 7 hits, 1 fire. It was about 5.8 thousand damage only, with 7 hits. So the damage isn't great, but you can hit the target extremely easy. And if you aim a bit better, you can score a lot more than just 7 hits. Once again, he goes for the rear for some reason. Now, 13 bomb hits, 2 fires. Alright, let's just stop for a second. You see that there's actually, what, probably 12 planes in the squadron? And you may be thinking, okay, I mean, 5.8 thousand damage and a fire or two? Regarding, you know, how many planes there actually are? That amount of damage is not bad, but it's only 3 planes. Only 3 planes actually make an attack out of 12. And then the next 3 can do again, and then the next 3. So every time, all this hellfire that you see is made just from 3 planes. He can do that 4 times in a row. God help you if you repair the first time, or the second time, even third time. Of course, now they're all damaged, some of them are dead. Here's an interesting thing. Is it this one? No, this is still a... Oh, it is. He's gonna attack a destroyer. No, he's still going for the cruiser. Okay, then in the next video clip, he's gonna attack a destroyer. That I want you to see. There goes a couple of planes immediately. Wrecked. Sorry, this is one thing that I wanna address right now. Everything besides 4 planes in this squadron has either been wrecked, it's destroyed, it's gone, or they already dropped the payload and they're going back. There's only 4 planes left, and still only 3 will attack, and the last attack run will be made by 1, if there's anything left. Maybe reconsolidate, also one of the ideas, but we'll talk about that later. Here we go. Here's the attack on a destroyer. This is where I was just petrified. Watch the amount of shells that are going towards one destroyer. Watch the area where the shells are gonna fall. Do you see this? How the hell is one destroyer supposed to not get hit by this? 2 fires, 4 bombs. I don't think, yeah, it's 4 bombs. Look at the area of the damage. It's absolutely insane. This is only from 3 planes. You have 9 more to go. Planes will have no fuel, by the way. You can keep them in the air for as long as you want and do your attack whenever you want. Watch that. Holy Jesus. And that is pretty much it. So I'll do it like this. I'll put the video on a very low volume, and I'll put it back. So the video will be running in the background with a minimum of audio, and I'll be talking about what I think about this whole thing. First of all, my first reaction, and I watched this live when I was streaming, when the World of Warships official channel made this video, when they were streaming this. I streamed their channel because my audience wanted to see my reaction. Nobody knew what was going to happen, how it was going to look. This is the first time that I ever have any preview of this. A certain community contributors that were invited to St. Petersburg already knew how approximately everything was going to look like. I wasn't there back then, so this is my first time that I see this. First of all, there was some discussions a couple of days ago, and I knew that we were going to basically be some, you know, kind of flying the planes, which I don't know what to think about. But what are you supposed to do throughout the entire battle? In my opinion, this is one of the reasons that any plane-related games are not nearly as popular as like tank games, even ship games, or shooter games, or whatever. Yes, I know there's War Thunder that has a big player base and it's mostly oriented around planes, although now they have ships and tanks, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. War Thunder went through, they've done an amazing job when it comes to planes. It's just that for a person like me, although I can enjoy the sightseeing and I can appreciate it and the fine tuning, but there's just so much of that you can get impressed by. Yes, this will be quite interesting and fun to watch for the first couple of games, seeing the map from different point of view and flying and all this stuff. But how long do you think this is going to keep you entertained? How long can you be hyped about this? How long can you actually enjoy this? Remember, World of Warships is a very grindy game. It will take you a lot of this to grind just a module, just one ship, not to mention the entire line of doing this constantly. Yes, it's a work in progress, it's very, very early, it's completely subject to change, and we are invited to participate and help them balance this and everything. Yes, I understand. But my biggest fear was that considering you can only commandeer, pilot, if you want to call it, one squadron at a time, there's going to be nothing to do. Now, CVs are about heavy multitasking right now, and it's very challenging and it's very hard. And if you're very good at it, and the person you're playing against is not very good at it, there's a huge skill gap, and that's one of the reasons they want to simplify it. One of the things that one of my followers said is they always take a sledgehammer when they're changing something, and it's either a complete huge buffs or nerfs. There's no tweaking, there's no little changes, there's no middle ground, and I kind of agree. From fully from like really, really hard gameplay, from a fully multitasking simulator to something that you could be playing using your phone. That's how much, I don't know, that's how much skill and buttons is gonna take. I really don't see a lot of skill involved in this at all. It's too simplified. Now, if this is something they want to continue with, and if this is something they want to talk about and work on, and this is the carrier rework they've been waiting for, I don't know, 2 years now, they're gonna need to do a lot to make this entertaining. Now, I know there's gonna be a lot of you who are gonna be petrified with what you see and totally disappointed. And there's gonna be a lot of you, hopefully, who are gonna be very happy and satisfied with where this is going, because I've seen numerous messages of people, oh, this actually looks pretty good, I might actually play carriers now, and I didn't want to do it because they were too hard. But if something is too hard, then learn, adapt. You're not gonna learn by just not doing anything about it. This personally is way too simple. They just simplify this to the point where anyone can do it, and there's almost no skill involved. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's fine to make it a bit easier and more accessible to people. But I really don't see people coming in, piling to play carriers because this looks amazing. This looks to me like something that you can enjoy for a couple of games, and then you're gonna get bored or tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now, you may be standing there thinking like, yeah, but the current carrier gameplay is fucking boring. Okay, but there's a lot of multitasking to do. There's a lot of things for you to do besides the attacks themselves. Maintaining distance, controlling a lot of planes, fighter engagements, dive bombers, torpedo bombers, scouting, AA denial area, counter CV play, blah blah blah. This is it. That's all. You don't get a second screen, you don't get a bird's eye view, you don't get to see what's going on somewhere, you don't get to cross the drop or set someone, I don't know. This is it. This is literally it. One screen where you watch you're one squadron doing attack after attack. Well, basically you are. And you're doing a bit of S and D on your keyboard to dodge some incoming fire. And that's it. Of course, bear in mind, a lot of this is still completely unbalanced. A lot of AA is probably not even working properly. I think at this point they said that they still didn't rework the AA, and it's kind of malfunctioning at this point. So I'm guessing that it's not gonna be as easy to get to the enemy plane and just bomb him to crap. It's gonna be far more casualties than what you see here, which is fine because this is kind of broken. And there's gonna be apparently a completely new rework for skills and for AA when this finally goes live or whatever, because they wanna kind of redo everything, and it's gonna be now a lot more challenging to defend yourself with AA. There's gonna be sectors that you're gonna need to take care of. Shifting your fire, only one side of your ship maybe will be able to. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that they want to introduce, that they're working on. There's still, God knows if it's active or not, and how is it gonna be. Everything you see and hear here, including myself, is totally guessing and taking out from what I've seen and heard on the stream. It's a complete change and a complete rework. I am looking forward to try to help them do this and to rework it and to balance it and everything. But my personal initial thoughts are there's gonna need to be a lot more, like seriously, a lot more things for a captain, pilot, whatever you want to call it right now, for them to do while just controlling one squadron. I personally think that there's just a huge lack of content. They did mention some consumables and stuff that maybe the planes will have, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's awesome? Do you think it's absolutely terrible? And try to be fair and objective and, you know, give some valid points to why you think whatever you think it is. This can be good. This can be bad. This can bring in a lot more players to join, and this can simply push off every single player away. My biggest fear is that it's gonna be boring after a while, and people are just not gonna be interested in playing it, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the same thing that happened to World of Warplanes. It kind of looks amazing at the start, but after a while it just gets boring. It's just flying around and not doing anything for the most part. And I really hope that they can make this work and make it more interactive, involve some sort of a skill in this and some decisions, but we'll see. Anyway, that was the first preview, the first video of the new carrier rework. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you find it useful, and have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow.